Good afternoon and welcome to episode number 21 of a Finch's Nest podcast. My name is Heather and I will be your host today. I am coming to you from southwestern Ontario, where I live with my 2 girls and my 3 cats. And today is a very gray, mild winter day. So we've kind of had that all winter. It seems like it's been a very mild winter so far and very gray. Lots of rain and not so much snow, so I guess I'll take it. And we do really enjoy the sunny days when they come because they're few and far between these days. So, like I said, this is a Finch's Nest podcast, and if you haven't watched me before or you haven't followed me on Instagram and you would like to, you can find me over there at a Finch's Nest. I haven't been super active over there the last few months, but when I am active, that's where I'm most active. So I'll put my handle below and you can follow me over there. So again, it's been months since I podcast. It seems to just be the way it is. And I'm not going to promise anything different because we all know it's not going to happen. So where have I been? Well, I think the last time I podcast was in September or maybe the end of August, and I was scheduled to have knee surgery in November, which ended up getting bumped up till October. So in October I had a knee replacement, and it went well as a knee replacement goes, but it's been a lot getting back to, I guess, normal. I'm not quite there yet. I have my full range of motion, which is great, but I still have some swelling and still struggling going up and down the stairs. I can go up and down the stairs. It's just a lot of effort. So I've spent a lot of time in physiotherapy and lots of time trying to get back to normal. So hopefully soon I will feel like I'm more back to normal, but at least that's behind me now, and I'm grateful for that. And the surgeon that I had is known as, the best knee surgeon in the town that I live in, and he was retiring, so I'm very grateful I got in before he retired. I was one of his last, and so yeah, I was lucky to have him. And my physiotherapist says that for some reason his patients heal the quickest, so I'm also grateful for that because it's hard to not feel like yourself. Anyways, when I was recovering from my knee replacement surgery, I had all these great intentions of all the knitting I was going to get done while I was recovering, and in the end I did very little. I found that I just completely lost my mojo for knitting when I was recovering, and I think part of it is just you just feel crappy. You don't want to do anything. So anyways, I didn't get much done during that time, but I'm kind of making up for it now. I feel like after Christmas, my mojo has really come back, and I've been getting lots done. And I do have a few things here that I made before Christmas as Christmas gifts that I took back so I could show you on the podcast. But yeah, I really feel like I have my mojo back now, and especially when it comes to socks. I just want to knit all the socks right now, so I'm just going with it for now. So anyways, this could be a bit of a long one because I have quite a few things to show you, and I do have notes that I'm going to be referring to so I don't forget anything. And yeah, so here we go. So let's start with finished objects. So I had decided in, I guess it was about October, that I was going to knit my kids all socks for Christmas. Like, I don't know why I thought I was going to get that done. But anyways, I started in October and I knit 2 pairs of socks and then I quit. So I have 2 pairs done for Christmas 2023. So I'm ahead of the game. I actually have 3 pairs done now. So these were made with the intention of Christmas 2022, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. Now I have a head start. So the first pair I finished is this pair here, and these will be for my son's girlfriend, and they've been together forever, so I'm not concerned that she won't be around next Christmas or anything. They should be engaged. Actually, they should be married by now. They were going to get married in 2020, and then COVID, and then she decided to go back and get her master's and her PhD. So I think everything's just very delayed. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So this pair of socks I knit for her, and the yarn that I used is this Jawoll. I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing, but I've shut the door to my office to do this, and she's outside crying that she wants to come in. Anyways, this is the Lang Jawoll yarn, and the color number is 900.0033. Now, I bought this yarn a long time ago. This is Deep Stash. My son went to university in Ottawa, and one time when I took him down there, I decided to check out some of the yarn stores, and I found this at one of those yarn stores. So this is Deep Stash. Anyways, this yarn is really nice. This is what I have left, because it comes with the little cone to reinforce the toes and the heels with this thread that matches the yarn. So this is great because it really makes for a nice, I just put it in the heel and the toe, and it just really makes it feel like it's super durable now. So hopefully these will wear really well. And for those of you who haven't used these spools before, it's just a really thin thread, like kind of like it's thicker than a sewing thread, but similar to a sewing thread. And so when you're knitting with your yarn and you come to the heels and toes, you just hold them double and knit with them together, and then it just really reinforces those areas that tend to wear really quickly. And I have noticed that a lot of the Lang yarns, I don't know about all of them, but I know a lot of them do come with these. So I think that's a great feature, because hopefully it makes them last a little bit longer. But anyways, I think this is a nice colorway. It'll go with lots of things, and I think it'll look really nice with a pair of jeans. So I'm happy to have these done, and I think she'll like them. She really likes this burgundy color. She seems to wear a lot of it, so I thought these were be nice for her. I originally bought the yarn for myself because I thought it was really nice, but it just seemed perfect for her. So she's going to get these for Christmas next year. So that was the first thing I finished. I'm going to need these blockers again. Yeah, and I would assume because of how long ago it was that I bought the yarn that you probably can't buy it anymore. But I don't know that for sure. Or I guess you could try to find it on a D-stash or something like that. So anyways, that's pair number 1. And then I have this pair that I finished, and these will be for my son. And I really like how these knit up. This green is definitely not a color that I normally gravitate towards. This yarn was gifted to me by a friend. I had a dear friend who was a sock knitter, and I actually had taught her how to knit socks at the camp that I used to work at, and she was diagnosed with cancer quite a few years ago now, and unfortunately deteriorated very quickly. And when she was moving into hospice, she sent all of her sock yarn to me before she went in. So it's a bittersweet yarn, but my son knew her, and so I thought this was a perfect yarn for a gift for him. So this is not a yarn that I would normally, like I said, gravitate towards because of the colors, but I love the way it knit up. So for this pair, I used, for the main part, I used this Austermann Step, it's called. And this is what the label looks like. And the color is 0238. And it's kind of like it's showing up pretty true to color. It's kind of like a bluey gray with greens and golds. Very nice. The gold might be a little darker in person than it's showing on the screen, but we have no natural sunlight today, so it's just artificial light, but it's showing up pretty good. And then for the toe here, because I always find with men's socks, I don't have enough in a 100-gram ball to do the whole pair of socks. Now, I did have this much left this time, which I probably could have done the whole pair, but I didn't know that when I was doing the first sock. So I used this green for the toes, and it is one of these little United Socks by Katia. And it's color number 21, and these are 25-gram balls. And there's a local yarn store to me that the store is in the lady's home or just attached to her home, and she had these last year, and they come in all different colors, and they're great to have in the stash for heels and toes. So I bought a bunch of different colors, and this just happened to be a perfect match for these socks. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. So hopefully he likes them. I don't know how much green he wears either, but they're such a beautiful sock. Surely he'll like them, right? So anyways, and these are just a typical men's sock with 72 stitches, and I knit my socks on a 2.5 millimeter needle. And I always do socks with just the heel flap and gusset, because I find they just fit the best, and it's what I always do, and so it just makes it easier to do the same thing, right? So anyways, that's another pair. So there we go. We've got 2 Christmas gifts done already, and it's January. So that's how you cheat on Christmas gifts. You start a year early. And now I'm eating my hair. So just before Christmas, I guess it was probably the end of November, my daughter, who has the 2 little girls, announced that baby number 3 is coming. So I was knitting something for the 2 little girls for Christmas, and so I thought, well, I have to knit something for the baby. So I didn't have a lot of time, of course, because she announced it was just before Christmas. And so I knit as much as I could, but I did not get the sweater done, and I wrapped it up with it on the needles. So that was kind of funny, and she didn't mind at all. And I told her that all my knitting friends said that this was totally appropriate. And she said, well, the baby's not done yet either, so why does it matter that the sweater's not done? So I like the way she thinks. So anyways, the sweater I was attempting to get done was this sweater called Baby Chocolat, or Chocolat probably. And I had seen this knit up in a local yarn store, and it was just a cute little sweater. I'll just show you who it's by. Skeinz is who it's by, and I found this on Ravelry. And as you can see, it's just like a little cardigan with a sheep on it. And there's only one size. So the finished size is supposed to be 6 to 12 months. So I thought, maybe, so the new baby's due in June, which my daughter always goes early, so we're assuming probably May the baby will be born. And so I thought, well, maybe this will fit into the fall. So it seemed like the perfect size for the new baby. So this is the sweater, which I think is adorable. Now we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Let me just fix that. But I thought this was very gender neutral. It's looking more rusty because of the light than it really is. It is definitely more of a cranberry color. But there's the little sheep. Just so cute. You can hardly see his legs because he's so fluffy. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I was knitting this and really not paying attention. And so you were supposed to knit this in while you were knitting the sweater, and I got carried away. And next thing I knew, I was done and I forgot to put the sheep on. So I had to duplicate stitch it, which I don't enjoy. But anyways, I muddled through and we have a sheep, and I think it looks adorable. and cute little wooden buttons. My daughter loves anything with little wooden buttons. So anyways, the yarns that I used, the cranberry, this was another deep stash, so I feel good. I'm using my stash. Schachenmayr Original Merino Extrafine 120, and the color is 00132. And I had quite a few of these, so I have a full ball left, and I'm thinking I might make a little hat or possibly a bonnet if it's a girl. So I'm kind of holding off on the hat for right now, at least, just to see, because if it was a boy, I don't think she'd want a bonnet. I think she'd want a different style of a hat. So I might just wait till the baby's born and then do the hat. So, but we'll see, unless I find something that I think is gender neutral. And I thought the sweater does maybe look a little feminine with the sheep on it, but I thought if it was a boy, I'd get him a really cute plaid shirt or something to wear under it. And then he'll look like a proper little gentleman. So anyways, that's what I knit that with. And I just used this Patons, no, it's not Patons Croy. It's Patons Classic Wool in the DK Superwash. Sorry. For the gray for the sheep. And then I found this in my stash that is also deep stash. It's the Bernat Pipsqueak, and I bought this like forever ago. I don't even know if they make this stuff anymore, but it's like a really fluffy yarn, and it was perfect for a little sheep. So it really gave it a nice texture, and it also, because I'm not super good at duplicate stitch, because it's so fluffy, I don't know if you can really see it, it really hides any imperfections in my duplicate stitch. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. It looks kind of cute. I was trying to figure out a way to do like a 3-dimensional ear that would like flap a little bit, but I haven't figured that out yet because it's pretty small. So he might be earless. But anyways, I don't think the baby will notice that the sheep is earless. So there's another finished object. So that was good. So now I can finally give that to my daughter. She's very patient. She knows how her mother operates. Okay, let's check the list so I don't forget to tell you anything. Okay, so the next thing that I worked on was part of my granddaughter's Christmas gifts. And I knit them out of one of these King Cole books. I have quite a few of these. Well, quite a few. I probably have 4 of these books. And I really love the patterns in them. They're very cute. And I've made quite a few of them. Now, these are, any of the ones that I've done so far have been knit in pieces. So if you don't like doing that, then you won't like these books. But I don't mind so much if you get a cute sweater in the end. So I wanted to just knit them little pullovers for the winter. Just, you know, cozy pullovers to be around the house or whatever. So I saw this pattern, and even though it was on a little boy, I thought it was very gender neutral. And so I decided to make this sweater, which was called the Little Wrapper Sweater. And then I did this hat, which was called the Stripey Helmet. And I did a size 3 to 4 years for the oldest granddaughter and 18 to 24 months for the smaller one. So this is the yarn I used, which is Berroco, there's fluff on it, the white fluff from the fluffy yarn. This is Berroco Vintage Dk in, oh yes, so I lost the band, the ball band. I've actually lost a few ball bands recently, which is odd because usually I keep really good track of them. But I think maybe in the, cleanup before all the Christmas guests arrived, I must have thrown some of them out by mistake. So anyways, I don't know for sure the colorway, but I went on the website last night to try to find the colorway for you because it is a beautiful color. And my guess is it's $21.98. But it is this nice purple, and it has flecks of different colors in it. It's very heathered. It's very pretty. So I thought it was different. Like normally I knit them pink things because I love pink, but I thought this was kind of different color. So here are the hats. And you can see one's slightly bigger than the other. And they have my little label on that says, "Made with Love by Grandma." I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Oh, and there you can see the yarn, how many different colors are kind of in it. It's very pretty. And then I made these giant pom-poms, which of course make the hat even cuter, I think. And this is also a Berroco color, which I can give you the number after because I'm going to show some more of it. But it's very pretty pink. I would like a sweater for myself in that pink. I think it's very pretty. So while I was knitting these, I think this is the second time I've used Berroco for my granddaughters. And I really feel like this is like the perfect grandchild yarn. It's very soft. And a lot of the time when you're knitting with acrylic yarns, I find the colors are very, very solid. So this is a mix of acrylic and a wool. It's actually, I have some here. It's actually 50 acrylic, 40 wool, and 10 nylon. And so you do have that nice wool feel and warmth, but you know, the acrylic makes it more washable and easy care for my daughter. But because the yarns are heathered the way they are, it just looks so nice. Like it just looks like a really high quality yarn. So this is now my go-to for the grandkids, I think. It's just so nice and soft. I love it. And I love so many of the colors. So, yeah, this is going to be my new go-to yarn for the grandkids. So yeah, I really enjoyed working with it for these. So anyway, so this is the hat of 3 to 4 years and 18 to 24 months. And then the little sweaters. Whoops, the neck is kind of, here we go. There. So they just look so cozy and warm. My daughter gets them outside a lot to play, so I thought these would be so nice under their winter coats too, just to keep them extra cozy. So this is the little one, which looks really long. They both look really long to me, but I guess that's good to keep their backs all tucked in. So it was a lot of sewing them together, of course. Oh, nice big fold down the back of that one. But, and I didn't necessarily enjoy sewing them together, but I am very happy with how they turned out. They just, yeah, I'm very happy with them. So I would definitely, I definitely don't mind knitting sweaters in pieces. And I think the putting it together was stressing me out a little bit just because it was, a couple days before Christmas when I was putting them together. So maybe if it was earlier in the month, I might not have been as stressed, but that's my fault for leaving everything to the last minute. But yeah, that it was an easy pattern to follow and I'm happy with the results. So I would definitely knit it again. And there's more patterns in those books that I definitely want to make for them because they're just adorable. So stick those over there. Yeah, so as far as sizing in this book, I would say in these King Cole books, it would be a generous size. Yeah, my granddaughter is turning 3 next week, the oldest one, and I knit her to 3 to 4 year size, and I would say it's definitely going to be big on her, and I would say she's pretty average size. So that's, if you're ever knitting any of these King Cole patterns, I would say they definitely fit a little on the bigger side, not a lot, but a little bit. So something to keep in mind. Okay, next is another one that I've lost the ball band for. So I'm not very helpful if you like this yarn. I really have no idea what yarn this is, but I'm going to show you anyways because they're very pretty and they're finished. So this is another pair of socks that will be for next Christmas. And I just finished these the other day. So here we go. This is a really nice yarn, and I have no idea what it is. So that's not very helpful, is it? It's not helpful for me either, though, in case I wanted more. But they look more like striped on the camera than in real life. It's very muted stripes. But anyways, there's these ones. So this is another ladies pair. And again, I did 64 stitches on a 2.5 millimeter needle. And I wish I could tell you what the yarn is, but I can't. But I was able to match them up. So it had a very long repeat on it. So I had to wind off quite a bit, this much actually. And I have this much left. So yeah, I had to wind off quite a bit, but that was okay. I was happy that I could get them matching. So I do like the socks to match. So yeah, I'm not much help as far as what kind of yarn it is. It's something different. It's not a Patons or like a Croy or what's the other one? Regia. It's nothing like that. It's something different. But anyways, they're very pretty and they will make a nice Christmas gift. So that's 3 done. Now, if I can just keep on this, then maybe I won't be frantically sewing things together a couple days before Christmas, but who knows? Who knows when my sock mojo is going to disappear. So that's why I feel like right now when I'm feeling like knitting socks, I need to just get them done, because who knows how long the sock mojo will last this time. So okay, so I mentioned earlier that my granddaughter's turning 3 on Monday. So she was born January of 2020. And so for her first birthday, we were in lockdown, and so we weren't allowed to have family gatherings. And so we actually had to see her in the garage of their house. And it was freezing cold day. And then last year, for her second birthday, we were also like, I don't know if it was lockdown as much as it was like restricted indoor gatherings. So we did see her for her birthday, but we couldn't have like a family party or anything. So she's turning 3 and she's never had a family birthday party. So this weekend, she's getting her first family birthday party, which is really exciting because she's like the life of the party. So she's going to have so much fun. So anyways, right now she's really into the princesses, the Disney princesses, and she loves to dress up as anything, not just princesses. At Christmas time, she was really into the movie The Snowman that was on Netflix, I think. And there's a little boy named James in the movie, and she would pretend to be James all the time. And so she wanted to wear her red dress because James wears a red shirt. And anyway, she has this wild imagination and she likes to dress up. So I thought I would make her some princess dresses for her birthday. And I had so much fun making these. And I know she's going to love them. So anyways, I went to the fabric store to get a pattern, and the only one I could find was for Elsa and Anna from Frozen. And I don't know that she really knows Elsa and Anna because she definitely hasn't seen the movie. But anyways, it was the only pattern I could find. So that's what she's getting. So this is her little Anna dress. And this hanger is too wide, so that's why it looks kind of funny in the shoulders. But anyways, here's her little dress with all the flowers. And on the back. And then at the top here, you were supposed to put like a button with a loop. And I thought, oh, that was going to drive my daughter crazy, trying to get that loop around the button, 20 times a day when she wants to dress up. So I just put ribbon on so my daughter can quickly tie a knot or a bow, and it'll make it just easier. So there is a zipper in here too that opens to get in and out easy. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. So as far as the fabrics that I I got, I found this blue. It's kind of like it's not a taffeta, but it's kind of like a silky. I found it at Hobby Lobby and it was really affordable. So, and it was kind of the perfect color. All the appliques, I just used felt because it won't fray or anything, so I didn't have to finish the edges. So that made that quick and easy. Now, right now, I've put them on with like a fusible, the heat and bond stuff. So they're just fused on there right now. So, of course, I'm a little worried with the amount of play that this is going to get that they might lift. So before the weekend, I'm just going to stitch around all of these, probably on the sewing machine, just to make sure they don't fall off. And if not on the sewing machine, I'll probably just do like a blanket stitch around them all. So there's 6 on the skirt and the 1 at the top. The black, I just had some black cotton in my stash, so I used it. And the white, I ended up just using an inexpensive broadcloth from the fabric store. I'm going to take this hanger off so it looks better. It looks funny at the top. Well, it doesn't really help. But anyways, that's what I used, and I had the zipper in my stash, so I'm just stash busting like crazy over here. So it's, it's very helpful to have a stash of craft supplies because you just never know when you need this stuff. And it's funny because my daughter's having like a little party with all of Annie's little friends on Monday. And so she was trying to plan some cute little things for them to do. And she wanted to make like little princess wands. So she has a bit of a craft stash too. Nothing like my craft stash, but she's young yet. But she said she was able to make these little princess wands with stars and ribbons with mostly stuff she had in her stash. So that's why we have to have this stuff, right? So anyways, so that was great. And then, of course, Anna needs her little cape. So I made her little cape. And it's got this nice sparkly trim on it. Now, my one thing I wish I had done different, this trim was also very affordable at Hobby Lobby. But it is kind of elasticated, and so it's causing some bunching, as you can see here. And I tried to kind of steam it last night to see if some of it would come out, but I think it's just because there's elastic in there. So in hindsight, I should have bought one without the elastic in it, but this one was affordable and the other ones weren't. So this one went out. So, and of course, Annie's not going to notice. She's not going to be like, Grandma, this black trim is all puckery. She's just not. So I could have taken it off and tried again, but I thought it was too delicate. I'd probably break it because it's got all these little sequins on it and stuff. So anyway, so I'm a little disappointed with that, but that was just the choice of trim that I chose. So if I was to make one of these again someday, which I won't, I would choose something different. Anyways, then, so I think I said earlier that I live in Canada. So for me to go to Hobby Lobby, I have to go over the bridge and cross the border, which is fine. The bridge is only like 10 minutes from my house, but I ran out of this. So I didn't have enough to put on this cape part or collar part. So I didn't really want to have to go over to Hobby Lobby again. So I went to my local fabric store and I found this, which matches really well, and it's thinner, so I think it looks good on the top part here. But again, it's got the elastic in it, so it's kind of doing the same thing. And then I got a really pretty clasp to put on it. Now, in the pattern, it called for this to be lined, but because I was using the fleece and it was not going to fray, I thought I'm not lining it because that's just more fabric, and it might have made it easier in some ways, but yeah, there was no need to do it. So I didn't. So anyways, I'm very happy with it, besides the black trim being all puckery. But again, I don't think she's going to notice. She's going to love it. She's just going to love it. So, and then the next one, of course, she needs to have Elsa. Everybody loves to be Elsa, right? So here's her little Elsa dress. Now this, I did make a few changes to the pattern, only because of my fabric choices again. So I had found this, this fabric, whatever it is. It's not really a netting. It's denser than a netting would be, but when I was sewing with it, I noticed like it's gonna fray like crazy. So instead of just hemming it at the front here, I put some bias tape on it, hoping that it's gonna make it a little more durable, because I figured this is kind of where it's gonna start fraying at its bottom and on the sleeve cuffs. So on all those places, I put some bias tape, just hoping that it'll make it last a little bit longer. So anyways, I found this fabric at my local fabric store before Christmas, and it was on sale. And I also got this turquoise fabric there. And I thought it was kind of the perfect color. So, and again, here I put the bias tape at the neck, because again, these are all going to be the spots that are most likely going to get all the wear and tear. So anyways, it also has a zipper, and the ties, they're basically the same dress in the pattern. This one just has this overlay and the other one doesn't, and this one's longer. So yeah, I'm happy with them. I think they're really cute. Let me see if I can show you a little bit more of it. But yeah, there you can see at the bottom is the bias tape again. So she's going to be all decked out. And she's going to have so much fun with it. The only thing is, her other grandparents will be at her party on the weekend. And some of that family. And so, sorry, I'm a little concerned that when she opens that, the party's going to be kind of over. So I think we need to plan it that she opens that last, because once she opens the princess dresses, she's really not going to want to do anything else. So, anyways, and for that, it was a McCalls pattern, which is sitting over there. I forgot to grab it. And yeah, so it's made by McCalls, and I did the 3 to 4 year size. So hopefully it's a little bit big and it'll last her a little bit. So, and she has a little sister that can enjoy it when she's done with it. So that's good. And actually the Anna dress is quite a bit shorter than the Elsa dress. So I thought the little one could probably soon wear the Anna dress, and it would just be to the floor on her instead of just below her knees. So hopefully they'll have fun playing with those together. Okay, now I'm thirsty. I'm talking a lot. I also meant to mention, if I look really tired today, it's because I have so my daughter, who's 16, she had a friend over on Saturday, and they were fooling around downstairs and just having fun, and they kind of crashed into each other, and my daughter fell backwards and landed on, like, really hard on her butt, and so her back's been sore since that happened on Saturday. And she seemed to be managing the pain okay, so I didn't figure it was too big of a deal until last night. In the middle of the night, she was in my room crying that she couldn't take it anymore. So at 2:30 in the morning, we went to emergency. So turns out she might have a small fracture in her back, so we're just waiting to hear back from the hospital, because the doctor said he saw something there, but he wasn't sure if it was a fracture or not, and so he wanted the radiologist to double check. So I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So when I'm done recording this, I am definitely having a nap. Because tomorrow I have my grandkids all day, and I need to be well rested for that. They are the best, and I love having them, but I'm not 20 anymore. And they make me tired. Okay, so that's it for finished objects, but that was quite a few. And quite a few of those I've kind of finished probably in the last month. So I really feel like my mojo's coming back, which I'm really excited about because it was gone for quite a while. Okay, so works in progress. So I think the last time I podcast, I showed you a test knit that I was doing for Isabell Kraemer. And it's called Venia, I believe. And I did not get it done. I did not meet the deadline. So I was doing really well. And then my surgery got bumped up and my daughter was having some health issues and actually was in the hospital for a bit. So, it got put aside and I have not touched it since. I kind of lost all my desire to knit that. And I'm not ripping it out at this point or anything. And hopefully at some point I will finish it, but yeah, no time soon. So it's in timeout right now. So yeah, maybe someday it'll get finished. It is a beautiful sweater and I would love to wear it, but I have no desire to knit it right now. I think I kind of have a mental block with it. So, and really right now all I want to knit is socks. So maybe once I get past this sock stage, I'll want to get working on it, but we'll see. So right now I'm working on some more socks, of course, because I got the sock mojo. So I'm running with it. So I'm going to cast on another pair of vanilla socks because I just like to have those for when you're looking for a mindless project. And that'll be another pair for Christmas gift. But these two will be for me. So I'm just looking for a sock blocker here. So at Christmas time, I had it's not an advent calendar, it was the Dickens, I think it's called the Dickens Advent from Legacy Fiber Arts. And so instead of mini skeins, you get one 50-gram skein and a 20-gram mini every Sunday of Advent. So there's 4 of them. So I did this last year as well, and I really liked it. I find that the Advent calendars with the 24 minis are just not affordable. And then what do you do with all the minis? So I really love this, that they do this at Legacy Fiber Arts, and I hope they do it again next year, because you get like a 50-gram plus a 20, which is enough to do a pair of socks, and it keeps it affordable, and you just get 4 different sets, and that's it. And that's all you need, a nice little treat at Advent time. And this year too, we also got a really cute stitch marker, which I don't have with me. But anyway, so this is one of the sets that was in the Dickens box. So you probably can't buy it, I'm assuming, but maybe it'll come out at sometime in the future. But it was called Christmas Future, and it's their micro sock kit on their steel toe base, which is a 75-25. Yeah, and it was a 50-gram skein, and that's Legacy Fiber Arts. And I have to say, Sue is definitely becoming one of my favorite dyers. Her yarn is stunning. So anyways, here is this pair of socks. Now this pair will be for me. So this was the mini, which I'll show you here. This is what the 20-gram mini looked like. Very pretty. Lots of different colors and lots of colors that I love. And the main color is this one here. And you can't see the full depth of color again because of the lighting, but it's very pretty. So anyways, this is how it knit up. So this is the mini knit up, and then I just used it for the color work at the top. Now, obviously if I had used something that wasn't speckled, these snowflakes would have shown up better, but I knew that going in and still chose to use the yarn. So yeah, I like them. I think they're very pretty, but I've seen this pattern knit with 2 more solid yarns, and obviously you get much more of a striking contrast, but I'm happy with the one that I chose. So anyways, this one's finished, and this is the Snowy Nights pattern by this Handmade Life. And as you can tell, I didn't do the snowflakes here. I wanted to do the solid toe so you could really see what the yarn looked like, because you don't see it as much in the snowflakes, right? So I just did the solid toe. So yeah, and this is a great pattern. Also with this pattern, it comes with 2 charts, which obviously I'm not going to show you, but so this sock here has this color work, but there's actually another chart for color work section that goes a little bit longer. I think there's 2 rows of snowflakes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 2 rows of the bigger snowflakes plus a bunch of these. So you can make this shorter pair or longer, and even when I did it, I made mine longer. So, but yeah, I could have used the other chart, and it would have given me like another row of the snowflakes and more of these little stitches. So yeah, so I think it's a great pattern, and her patterns are very affordable, which I appreciate. So again, that's this Handmade Life, and it is Snowy Nights. So I have a few of her patterns that I want to get to. She has some really nice patterns. So I've started the second sock, and moving along. This was my coffee shop knitting on the weekend with my friends. Sorry, everything's twisted here. Okay, so I'm past the color work. That one looks funny. Turn it this way. I'm past the color work and just cruising down now. So yeah, so I'm excited about those, and excited to have some nice wintry socks, and loving the yarn. So yeah, and then I cast on another set of the Legacy Fiber Arts that I got in the Dickens box, and this set was called, so this is the same, like a 50 and a 20. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to you. I'm just getting excited about what I'm talking about. This one was called Scrooge, and again, it's the micro sock set, steel toes, 75-25. And here so with the 50 gram skeins, you're getting 231 yards, and then the 20 gram mini. So in this set, this is the main color, which, if you know me at all, this was definitely my favorite in the Scrooge, in the Dickens box. Very, very pretty. It's maybe a little more saturated than it's appearing, but very pretty. And then the mini was this smoky gray color. And this is the sock so far, which I guess I'll just stick my hand in so you can see the pattern maybe a bit better. I don't know how well you'll see the pattern because it's, oh, there you go. Oh, isn't that pretty? I love it. Love it. So this, I'll show you the pattern in a second, but it's just patterned on the front, and then on the back is just the stocking stitch, which is kind of nice because then you get to see how it knits up without a pattern and with a pattern. And I just noticed that the camera is shaking. Sorry, my tripod broke, and you're kind of set very precariously right now. So I'll just move back a little bit. But it's nice to be able to see the yarn in just a plain stocking stitch plus in the pattern. Oh, it's very pretty. Yeah, these are definitely not going to anybody else. This is selfish knitting right here. So I am doing the gray for the heel and the toe. And oh, I did a little bit at the top as well. And someone's at my door. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody was at my door, which never happens, except when I'm podcasting, right? Anyways, now I forget what I was telling you. I think I just told you that I was doing the gray for the heels and toes and just the little trim at the top. So, and I told you what color it was. Oh, and I'm knitting these also on a 2.5 millimeter. And this is the pattern Let's Stay Home Socks by Nancy Wheeler. So Nancy Wheeler just recently started. Now my phone's ringing. Seriously. Okay, sorry. I had to get the phone because I was worried it was the hospital calling, but it wasn't. Okay, so this is the Let's Stay Home Socks by Nancy Wheeler. So Nancy, she has a podcast. It's called Knit Sip Happy, I think it's called. Anyway, she just started designing patterns in the last year, maybe. But she had offered this one for free at Christmas time, maybe. I think it was meant to be like a Christmas Eve cast on or a Boxing Day cast on. I can't remember. Anyways, she had offered it for free. I don't know if it's still free on Ravelry. But anyways, that's the pattern I'm using. And I do really like this pattern. She has some other sock patterns that look interesting as well. And I also heard that when she first releases a pattern, I think she charges like $5 for her patterns. But for the first like 24 hours or first so long, all the sales, all the money goes to a charity. So I like that. That sounds great. So I'll definitely be following her for more sock patterns because I do like that one. And this is probably one of those patterns that I will knit over and over again because it looks a whole lot more complicated than it is. It's actually a very easy pattern. So, and if you can hear squeaking, I'm leaning on my ironing board, so it's squeaking. But anyways, aren't they so pretty? Oh, I just love them so much. So I'll be working on those ones tonight. If and when I get to sit down. Okay, and that's it for things I'm actively working on. And like I said, I'm going to cast on a vanilla pair of socks. So I have those to pick up and knit when I need that mindless project. I also want to cast on another Musselburgh hat because that's a great mindless project. So I'll have to get one of those on the needles soon too. I do have 2 acquisitions that I want to talk to you about. Yeah, I was talking about the Berroco vintage yarns that I like now for my grandkids. So soon after I had my surgery, this local yarn store that I was talking about that is in her home, she does a sale every year for her anniversary, and so the discount is like how many years she's been in business for. So she's been in business for 26 years. So on her anniversary weekend, she was having a sale for 26% off. Now, the thing with her is her prices are very affordable to begin with. I guess because she doesn't have the same overhead as like a yarn store would have. So anyways, some of my friends were going out there and I couldn't go because I still wasn't able to drive at that point. So I sent my wish list with one of my friends, and thankfully she was kind enough to pick up some yarn for me and bring it back. So these are the colors that I chose. Now, of course, I had to choose the colors online because I couldn't go in person. So these were kind of like safe choices when I couldn't be there in person, but I really like them. So they're perfect. So I got a pink, of course. I got my hair done today and it's just a little too soft and fluffy. It's like in my mouth and everywhere. Yeah, so I got this nice pale pink, which with 2 granddaughters, you can't go wrong with pale pink. Now this one is the vintage, which is a worsted weight, where the one that I used for the purple sweaters was a DK weight. So they have the vintage, which is worsted, and then the Vintage DK. So that's how you tell the difference if you've not used this before. So yeah, pale pink, and this is color number 5110. And I can't remember how many balls I got. I think like 5 or 6. And that'll do the 2 sweaters plus hats to match. And then this is the color that I had used for the pom-pom. And I love this color. Again, I think I got 4 balls of this. Now, unfortunately, I used a lot of one of them for the pom-pom. So I don't know if I'll have enough to do both girls' sweaters, but this one's also the vintage, the worsted weight. So this one I thought would make nice antler cardigans for the springtime. So I might see if I can get some more of this color, because then I could do little hats and stuff to go with them. And I might need more just to do the 2 sweaters. We'll have to see. Anyways, this color is 51168. And this is why I like Berroco. So like this pink is just a solid pink, which, you know, you could buy with many different manufacturers. But this is the one thing I really love about Berroco, is just how heathered their yarns are. And it just really gives it a really, really nice look. And it doesn't look like an affordable wool acrylic blend. It looks like a really, really high-end yarn. So I love it. And I would love a sweater for myself in this. And then I just got one of this white, which is 2101. It's kind of like a off-white. It's not white. This one's the DK. And I just wanted to have this one in my stash in case I ever wanted to do like a color work project. Yeah, because I do have some vintage DK in my stash. Plus I have some of that purple left over. So this will help make that go a little farther and give me lots of options. And then this one is also the vintage, the worsted, in this really pretty, this is not showing up very well. Not showing up true to color. I wonder how it compares to my shirt. I don't know. Anyways, it's a very nice turquoisey sort of color, but it's much prettier than it's looking in the camera. So this color is 5194, and I think my granddaughters will look really nice in this color. They're both kind of pale, not super pale, but lighter skin, and so these jewelry sort of tones look really nice on them. So I got those. So this one I have enough to do 2 sweaters as well. And it was just so affordable, and so I'm well stocked now. So I'm going to, I have to clean up my yarn stash a little bit. It's kind of all over the place. When I lived in my old house, I had a closet in my basement, and my dad had put shelves in. And so I had like a shelf for my worsted weight, and a shelf for my DK, and a shelf for my fingering. And then when I moved here, I just don't have something like that. And so I've kind of just been making do with whatever I had. So right now, all my yarn's in like Rubbermaid type bins, which I don't love because it's hard to find what you're looking for sometimes. But anyways, I'm going to organize them in the next week or so. And I want to put all my Berroco vintage in one bin. So that way I have, you know, I know where all the scraps are if I wanted to do a color work project. Because like even with this purple, I've got this ball, and I can, like right there, I've got a hat or whatever, right? So I just want to have it all organized. But, you know, you have to find time to do all these things. It's always great to have all these intentions. It's the time that's the problem. Anyways, and then the last acquisition I love so much. So I'm not really going to go into any details on it because I'm going to do a separate video that's kind of a review of it. So my parents gave me some money for Christmas, and so I decided to treat myself to something that I wouldn't normally purchase for myself. So I ended up buying one of the Della Q bags. So if you've not heard about Della Q, it's a line of bags that Jimmy Beans has come up with, and you can buy them in many local yarn stores. And I saw this one online, and this was not part of it. I just really loved it, as you can imagine. The color, again, is kind of not accurate, but anyways, it's the prettiest pink. It's a little darker than it's showing in the screen. And it has this leather bottom on it. Yeah, so I had seen this online, and I wanted to support like a Canadian store. Unfortunately, none of the Canadian stores had the pink bag in stock. And so I considered getting a different color, again, so I could support local, but, you know, if you know me, you know I really needed the pink one. So I looked on Jimmy Bean's website to see, how much it would cost to get it from them, with my exchange on my dollar and everything, plus shipping. Now, if I ordered it from Jimmy Bean's, I was going to get free shipping because I live so close to the U.S. border. There's a place on the other side of the border where I can have packages sent to. So if, like, for instance, when I ordered this, I had it shipped there, and so I was able to get free shipping because it was within the U.S. So I ended up, even with the exchange, it was going to be much more affordable for me to buy it here from Jimmy Bean's than it was to buy it from one of my local yarn stores. So that's what I did. I ordered it from Jimmy Bean's and had it sent to the U.S. address. And then I just went over and picked it up. So, sorry. And I think it took about less than a week to get from Jimmy Bean's to where I go in Michigan to pick it up. Anyways, before I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Before I decided to purchase this one, I was looking at all their different styles that they have available, because there's a few different styles, and I was having a hard time deciding which one I wanted. So I was looking for reviews online, and there were very few. So what I'm going to do is do a separate video at some point, hopefully in the next week, of just the bag. And I'll go into more detail on what I love about it, and if there's any cons about it, which I'm not sure there are at this point. Well, maybe. But overall, I love it so much, and I'm getting so much use out of it. So, like I said, these are made by Jimmy Bean's. They're made out of a wax canvas, and they are made specifically with knitters in mind. And so, again, in the video that I do, I'll go into more detail as to why these are specifically designed for knitters. But if you got Christmas money and you're looking to treat yourself to something, highly recommend. But again, you can wait for my video and I can go into all the details. But this is one of the Jimmy Bean's bags. It's called Della Q, and each bag comes with this pin with stitch markers on it, and there's other things that come with it as well, specifically with knitters in mind. So anyways, and then my son's girlfriend gave me this keychain for Christmas, so I thought it was perfect on there. And then, you know, when I'm at knit group, everybody knows who this bag belongs to. And then this is the back of it. And this is leather here. So you can look, if you're interested in getting a Della Q bag and you want to know all my thoughts on it, you can watch for the video that'll be coming up. And I'll be doing that very soon. So anyways, that's Della Q, and you can buy them in lots of yarn stores and also at Jimmy Bean's. So I think that's it. Yes, that's it. How long was that? Let me see. I can't see the time. It was over an hour, wasn't it? But that's what happens when you don't podcast very often. So, yeah, I think that's it. So hopefully you have your knitting mojo back. I'm finding, I think part of that part of the reason why I have my mojo back is because of the weather. I love like the cold winter nights when you just want to stay home and knit and, you know, stuff like that. So I think that's helping with my mojo. So also just as a interesting fact, so where I live, just 2 nights ago, there's a senior's home just not far, like a stone's throw from my house, and they had a fire, like a really bad fire. And I would assume from driving past that nobody will be moving back into the retirement home. It is very badly damaged. Anyways, the retirement home had 120 residents in it, and it's a retirement home. It's not like a care home, thankfully. So you know, they're not requiring as much medical care as they would in a care home. Anyways, they were able to get all 120 guests out, or residents out of the fire. Nobody was injured, which is a miracle. It really is a miracle. And they had fire departments coming from all different counties around to help. They even sent the Port Huron, Michigan fire department also came over the border to help, which is amazing. And anyways, they were able to move all these residents out. So the church that I go to is really big on like loving your neighbor generously, is what he always says. And so he posted this afternoon a little message on Facebook asking, so he's been in touch with people working with these displaced seniors. So what's happened is half of them have gone to family members and are staying with family members temporarily, and the other half are being housed in a hotel right now. But they've literally lost everything. So there's lots of organizations that are providing like clothing and, you know, basic necessities. But he said, you know, he wanted to do something different, and he wanted to, you know, he said like these people are displaced and they're now living in a hotel and their whole life has been turned upside down, and they're like senior citizens, right? And so they're going to be bored. They're going to have tons of time on their hands. So let's get together some board games and some decks of cards and crossword books and word search books, and take those kinds of things to them, which are things that maybe other organizations won't think of, right? Because, you know, they're going to get tons of clothing and tons of socks and whatever. So let's do something different. So anyways, I messaged the pastor of our church to see if he could find out if there's any knitters or crocheters staying in the hotel, because there's 60 seniors. Surely there's a knitter in there. And so he's going to find out for me. And if so, I'm going to get together some yarn and knitting needles and get it over there quick, because if you're a knitter and you've just lost everything, you really need some yarn and knitting needles is what you really need, right? So anyways, he's going to find out for me. So I'm hoping there's some knitters and crocheters in there that we can bless with some yarn and some needles to keep them busy and occupied. And how terrifying that must have been for them. It's just such a sad situation, but it's such a miracle that nobody was hurt. So grateful for that. So hopefully there's some knitters in there and we can put together some yarn. And so I said to my daughter, well, they were also saying, besides the card games and all that kind of stuff, there's a real need for like Depends undergarments for some of the residents. And so when my daughter heard that, well, I said to her, we're going to have to go shopping. We're going to have to go get some like crossword books and stuff like that. And she's like, and some granny panties, she says. I'm like, sure, we'll get some of those too. But anyways, happy to help these poor people who've been through such a traumatic experience. Anyways, hopefully there's a knitter there. So I hope you're well. I hope you're healthy. I hope winter's being kind to you. And definitely hope you have your mojo. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'm going to edit this probably tomorrow, and then I probably won't post it till after my granddaughter's birthday party, just in case my daughter sees this. I want her to be surprised with the princess dresses too. So I'll probably post this early next week. So anyways, take care and I will talk to you soon.